Hello, you are listening to the OmniTalk Fast Five, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Firework, SPS Commerce, and Sezzle. Headline number 5, New York City plans to test what it is calling microhubs throughout the city. According to Supply Chain Dive, the microhubs in the city will provide designated curbside or off-street locations for trucks to unload items onto low-emission transportation modes like electric vehicles or cargo bikes for last-mile delivery. The city plans to launch up to 20 sites to test both curbside and off-street delivery sites within the program's first phase beginning this summer and extending into the fall. Chris, what are your thoughts on the city creating these microhubs?
Yeah, wow. I don't know. I'm curious I have no idea where your head is on this one. I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday in preparation for the show. I have no idea where you landed, but I'm conflicted, quite honestly. I mean, I think about the idea itself conceptually. In a big city like New York, I think it makes sense. The amount of deliveries being made every year by way of e-commerce are just going to continue to grow. So that's going to lead to incredible congestion as you think about especially in New York, all the people double parking to make a delivery. It's got to be insane.
Yeah, the case is there for sure.
Yeah, so you get the point. But I have two concerns with it.
Okay.
One, I don't see this having applicability throughout the rest of the U.S. Like, I hope other city officials don't take this same page out of New York's book and try to start copying it. No, I don't, because it's just we don't have the urban. I mean, maybe some cities, but generally the suburban sprawl of the U.S. I don't think makes this applicable to every municipality. But then the second part, I'm all for infrastructural investments, but that also raises a whole host of questions for me, like who's going to manage these hubs, who decides who can use them, and when. And then why wouldn't the 3PLs just build this themselves as well and try to do it better and more efficiently? I don't want to get political here, but like that's kind of where my head is. So net. I just don't know what to make of it, but I'm curious. What do you think?
So I would disagree with you saying that there's not a need for this in other cities. I think what I think we may agree on is that I don't think the cities should be in charge of this. I think that is a terrible idea. First of all, because New York City last fall decided they were going to take empty newsstands and convert them into like charging hubs, shelter, toilets, like things for all the deliveristas that that's what they're called, deliveristas, according to the New York Department of Transportation.
Oh my God.
But they still are struggling to get those out. Yeah. Like great initiative, all these good intentions behind it, but it's still run by a city that has no experience with logistics technology, no experience running these types of hubs. Like they can't even get the rest stop stations set up. This is going to be a total crap show. Gong show, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a disaster. And exactly to your point, like if I'm FedEx or UPS, am I going to trust my packages with a city? Like I have no idea that if you as the city say that a package has been left there, now that I'm going to trust the city developing their technology for the first time over my logistics technology as FedEx or UPS or someone else. And then there's 23 providers that they got inputs from. So it's not just the big players. It's also the small players.
Not at all.
And it's just I'm picturing this room that's just full of crap, like so full of junk, like, and all the like packages that get stolen. Like who's going to be in charge of this?
It's like a bigger version of the apartment building's package room.
Totally.
Right?
And then lastly, I think about the consumer part of this. Yeah. If I don't get my package as a consumer, what happens? If it's at the delivery hub in my neighborhood, like, am I going to FedEx? Am I going to the retailer? Am I going to the city? Like, do I have to call 311 to try to get the location of my package? That sounds like an absolute disaster. So my fear here is that cities around the world that are urban cores are going to see this. It's going to fail miserably, and then they're going to kill the whole idea for the private parties that could do this well and could execute well and need the cities to change legislation so that they can actually put a micro hub in a retail location or something. Like, I think the idea is solid, but I think it's going to get killed because it's going to get ruined by this.
So you're saying you don't like this?
No.
I will say this, though, Ed, in closing, like, we'll move the lighting around. Like, I think you did help me see the light there, too, about the point about suburban. Like, yeah, actually, Target sortation centers, as an example, are just a horse of a different color of this. It's just what size and scale are you doing this to help consolidate deliveries and make them more efficient. So, yeah, there's probably applicability everywhere. It probably already kind of exists, too, if you stop and think about it.
Right.